All right, this is the church. I'm trying to start the walk through the neighborhood part, but I just wanted to show you a picture of the church and kind of what's around the church. And as you can kind of see, this is not real plain, but on the other side of the building is houses that actually touch the property of the church. And right across the street from the church is Clarksville High School. And of course you're looking at Clarksville High School there. And then right on the other side of Clarksville High School, you can't see it, is Richview Middle School. So we have a middle school and a high school right across the street from the church, and our youth pastor does a really good job of trying to get in touch with these kids to come to church. Also, we have a nice looking pond with a fountain in front of our church. And you can probably see the house on the other side of the church also touches the property of the church. So that we have a lot of houses in the neighborhood that touch the property of the church. So now I'm going to stop this part of the video and begin my walk around the neighborhood. Okay, as this building that we're looking at now is our youth center, and right behind the youth center are some more houses that are actually right across the street from this open field here that the church owns. And we are surrounded by houses. And so we have a ministry, I believe, right in our backyard. And so I just wanted to show you kind of what the youth center looks like. And what is also it's the youth center. They call it the Epic Center, but also what is around the Epic Center. I've been walking the neighborhood for a few minutes now, and this is kind of what the neighborhood looks like. Just quite not real busy streets. And I would say that probably most of these homes are at least middle class, maybe lower middle class. But this is, as I've been walking the neighborhood, this is kind of what I see. The houses are not really overly large, and they all seem to be built around the same time period as maybe the church was. The church, I think, was built in the late 70s, and it looks like the houses here are about the same age. I am a couple of streets away, a couple of streets down from the church, and while most of this walk has been in a solid middle class neighborhood, on the edge of this neighborhood, if you can see between the two houses, is an apartment complex, a very large apartment complex, probably less than a quarter of a mile from the church. So while I've taken a good little walk through the neighborhood, I've not only seen that a lot of people could be reached in this neighborhood, but they could, if someone wanted to, it is within walking distance. Straight ahead is a major road that runs in front of the church called Richview Drive, and a lot of traffic passes in front of the church as well. This is Richview Drive I was talking about a second ago, and so it's kind of a busy street, and to the left here is Richview Middle that I mentioned a while ago when I showed you what Clarksville High School looks like. And of course you can't see Clarksville High School right now because of the trees. But this is kind of the edge, or this edge anyway, of the neighborhood. Okay, we're back at the church. This is a church. I just made a big loop around the neighborhood. There's the name of the church. And again, Richview Drive. If you're leaving the church, you come to a red light, and you come to a street called Madison Street, and it has numerous businesses, coffee shops, and restaurants. And also within a mile and a quarter of our church is a Lutheran church and a Southern Baptist church. So the neighborhood that I just walked, we are in competition, I guess you could say, with the Lutheran church and the Southern Baptist church. This is John Vaughn. I'm interviewing John for our video project. And John Vaughn is the executive director of Radical Missions at First Church of the Nazarene in Clarksville, Tennessee. And John is also a real estate agent in Clarksville, Tennessee. And so, John, I want to ask you, the first question is, what do you see as a church leader and mission leader, as well as a real estate broker, as an immediate need or goals of our community at our church, even if they have not been stated by the church yet?
I feel that Clarksville has a overwhelming need. There's a large section of our community that is kind of falling through the cracks. There's a lot of working poor. There's obviously a lot of homeless and a lot of poor in the area too. But there's a lot of struggling working poor in our community that need help, just, from 1 month to the next, that they just need a little bit of help getting that ball rolling so that they can get, on their feet, so that they're not living kind of paycheck to paycheck, one emergency away from being homeless. So, whether that's, a single mom with a kid, single dad with a kid, two parents and a kid. But I think big part of my calling and my goal in this community is helping the children change the cycle that maybe their parents are stuck in.
Okay. Is that something you see not only as a church member, but as a real estate agent as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see a lot of families in the community that are that way, that are just, they can buy a house, they can rent a house, they can buy a car, but, like I said, one emergency could put them under, one healthcare bill, one, flat tire. Some people I've seen where their electric bill's been too much for them. So that's, they're struggling, they're trying to make ends meet, and they just need a little bit of help just to keep them, kind of put them over that edge.
Okay. All right. Any stories at what you have seen God do?
One of the great stories through Radical Mission is one of our volunteers. Actually, we have two volunteers right now that are working on Tuesdays and Thursdays with us that started coming to Radical Mission for help. They were unemployed. One of them was homeless. One of them was right on the verge of just being there. And over the years, we've built the relationships. We've built those bonds with those guys. We've helped them get over that hump. And both are actively employed in the community now. and coming back every Tuesday and Thursday and helping. And both of them are actually having regular donations back into Radical Mission now.
Okay, very good. The second question is, do you help people get a job or fill out resumes?
Yeah, we have a work program that we've been trying to get off the ground, but we're kind of running. But basically, it is we help people. A lot of people know how to get a job. They know how to fill out a resume. But what the problem is with the relationships, they can get a job, but it's hard for them to keep a job because a lot of these people that are in this situation don't know how to go to work. They don't know how to be responsible, get up, go to job. Their boss gets on to them about something, and instead of punching them in the neck, they should just take the criticism and go on about their day. So we actually put a God piece into our job training program that helps them work through the relationship piece of where they need to be instead of, like I said, trying to take that anger out. But that's why a lot of people can't in our community is actually hold a job. It's fairly easy to get a job. It might not be what you want to do, but it's actually the sheer work of keeping it is where people are actually struggling.
Okay. What organizations here help people by humanizing and transforming them?
I think Radical Mission does a good job with that. We try to build those relationships. We do dinners, we do lunches. We try not to treat them as a number. Everybody here is kind of first name basis. So as they come through to even get food, we have prayer boxes for them. We ask them if they need prayer. So we try to treat them more like a human than just cattle coming through our turnstiles here.
Okay. How can we use what the church is doing with Radical Missions and make a connection with our community?
Right now, we have some strong bonds with the Housing Authority. We go to monthly Homeless Coalition meetings. We're going to be doing a big push coming in 2016, a lot of programs to get the congregation involved, to be able to do outreach programs, do some block parties in the community, go out to some of the low-income areas, give clothes, give food, give ice cream away, to become a part of that community instead of just somebody that pops in every 6 months to give them a good dinner. So.
Okay. Well, the final question is, what do you see as our strengths, our assets, and our gifts?
I feel that Radical Mission is a part of a good church. The First Church of the Nazarene is a strong, giving people if you give them a reason. And I feel that there's a lot of people that want to get involved, and I think that's a real strong is our people that are in our church. We as leaders and staff of this church need to give them a reason to get involved. And we need to do stuff to give them, and then it's just going to be their choice. It's going to be it's their responsibility to get involved, but I feel like there's a lot of people in this church that want to give and be a part of this.
I conducted an interview with John Vaughn, the executive director of Radical Missions, and after doing an interview with John, I went back and took a listen to what were possibly some of the themes in that interview, and some of the things that he kind of touched on more than one time. And Radical Missions calls it the working poor, single moms or single dads with one or more children, or even couples who don't have children. He refers to this as families who are one emergency short of being homeless. And so Radical Missions tries to step in, gain their trust, and intervene in their lives to teach them how to write and balance a paycheck, and how to stick with a budget. And Radical Missions even goes as far as having a job placement program. And so with these job placement programs, it's not normally that people have trouble getting a job. They have trouble teaching a job simply because of anger management. And Radical Missions again has kind of stepped in, and anger management steps are being taught. Radical Missions also has and maintains relationships with the people who come through monthly to receive Radical Missions help through monthly luncheons or dinners. And Radical Missions has also participates in meetings with the Public Housing Authority, who also share concerns that they have with the community. And so, as we can see, Radical Missions plays a big part within the community that is around the church, and helping people, helping humanize people, helping to, or at very least to show people that they are worth more than they even think themselves. And so Radical Missions has played a big part in helping a lot of people find jobs, keep jobs, and just in general, being a ministry that truly wants to help people. But anyway, that is the themes that I have gathered out of my interview with John Vaughn, and I just want to say that Radical Missions does a tremendous job in our community. So thanks a lot.